On. Namaste to one and all. My name is Subhas Chaudhary from Department of Accountancy, and today we will discuss about the ratio. Now, dear friend, ratio is not new to us, but before that, let us understand. So, today in this session, we will understand what is ratio, and point number two, we will understand liquidity ratios. So, we will discuss about the liquidity ratios and we will discuss about what is a ratio, liquidity ratio. So now let us understand what is ratio. So for the time being, let us fix to this ratio word only. What is ratio? So mathematically, we are aware that ratio is when we try to represent some relation. So here we are trying to represent some relation between two variables. In mathematically in fifth, sixth, seventh in your school time, we are aware that there were we did this questions of like this is the age of father is X and the age of son is Y, and this is how we represent if father is double or triple of son, like that. So that was a one type of ratio, but that was mathematically. So that was the use of ratio in pure mathematics. So what we do in ratio here, similarly, see the concept remains same. So what we do in the ratio here in finance also. So here in the finance, we use the ratio. Like see, I will give you the example. Like current ratio. So we use the relation of current asset and current liabilities. Okay. So this is how we understand what ratio is. Where two financial variables two financial variables, and we will try to correlate variable, we will try to find a relation of that two financial variables. So this is a ratio here. Today we will do liquidity ratio. There are various types of ratios, like I can tell you in types. Point number one, it's a liquidity ratio. Liquidity ratio means it's about short-term liquidity, short-term solvency ratio. Then we have a long-term solvency. Then you have a turnover. So I will write here it's a long-term solvency. Then you have a activity. Then okay. In some books you will find these ratios are divided like it's a profit and loss ratio. It's a balance sheet ratio, and then you have a composite ratio. So this is also a bifurcation. Okay, but we will restrict it today only for the liquidity. So let us go ahead and try to understand what is liquidity ratio. Okay, see. So point number one, liquidity. Now, dear friends, first you need to know what is liquidity. See, before we will go ahead with the liquidity ratios, we must understand what is liquidity. So see, here liquidity means that organizations should be in a position to settle their dues as and when arises. Let's say the organization is supposed to pay salary. Okay. So organization should be in a capacity to pay salary on the 10th, whatever is the date. So we will say, okay, from liquidity perspective, from short-term solvency perspective, organization is having a sound financial status. Sound financial status. Okay. Now suppose the organization is supposed to pay for some particular expenses, some rent, some particular expenses. Okay. And if organization is not able to pay that as and when arises, as and when it's due, so it is not sound or stable with the short-term liquidity. So this ratio will help us to understand that in the short term, whether organization is stable with respect to the finance or not. Okay, so now let us check how we will measure. Means this ratio will help you to measure that whether finance